Well, finally, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations has summoned former Interior CES Dr. Fred Matiangi, who will appear before it tomorrow morning, his lawyer Danstan Omari has confirmed. We have that plus. Tonight, the government has allocated over 60 billion shillings to address pending bills in the country as part of its ambitious plan to tackle the long-standing issue. President William Ruto has emphasized that this move will ensure the uninterrupted delivery of services to the people. China Square, located at the Unicity Mall along Thika Road in Nairobi, has resumed operations after a week-long closure.
It's good to be back. Things are cheap, they are good. You can get varieties of things. That's why we came.
The Kenya Chinese Chamber of Commerce has released a statement expressing its satisfaction with the outcome. And the issue of inheritance succession in the country has led to disputes among immediate family members who vie to become beneficiaries of a deceased's property.
Wiru inaweza kuaje itupe mama mzazi na vitu ni yeye ametafuta, ni mimi nimetafuta hii vitu yote, ikuwe ati mtoto ndio anaambiwa achukue hiyo mali.
Tonight we shine a spotlight on what can be done to avert conflicts. Good evening, my name is Eric Munene. Our sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Rhoda Nyali. We begin. President William Ruto has approved the supplementary budget for 2023 in a bid to help Kenya Kwanza government deliver services 6 months into the new regime. This comes amid claims of a crippling economy, with matters education, drought mitigation and agriculture sector being given top priority. Here's our reporter Flora Limuki to kickstart this bulletin tonight.
The government has allocated 60 billion shillings in the new supplementary budget to settle pending bills. This move comes 6 months after the Kenya Kwanza government was elected and has been lamenting over having inherited depleted coffers. In addition, the bill authorizes the release of 200.7 billion shillings from the consolidated fund, which will be utilized to cover the expenses of services provided this year. Some of the services rendered include provisions for capitation for students entering junior secondary school, recruitment of additional teachers and improvement of school infrastructure, as well as additional provisions for the school feeding program. Recently, the education sector has been at the center of public discourse due to the ongoing efforts to fully transition to the competency-based curriculum CBC and the impact of COVID-19 on the school calendar. In what signals the government's commitment to debt reduction through expenditure rationalization, the fiscal deficit has decreased from 6.2% of the gross domestic product in initial estimates to 5.7% of the GDP. A supplementary budget is requested by state departments and agencies for additional funding in the course of a financial year. It is meant to take care of expenditure that was not factored in during the budget-making process. Flora Limuki, TV 47.
Now, hours after the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, issued a fresh summon to former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiangi to appear before detectives to shed light on his claims that police had raided his home on February 9, 2023. Matiangi has confirmed that he will honor the summons on Tuesday. In the fresh summons, Senior Superintendent of Police Michael Sang said Matiangi should appear at the agency's office at 9:30 a.m. without fail or risk facing arrest. Mike Kagongo with the details.
Matiangi, through his lawyer Danstan Omari on Monday, confirmed that his client will present himself at the DCI headquarters on Kiambu Road. The confirmation came hours after the DCI issued a fresh summon to Matiangi to appear before detectives to shed light on his claims that police had raided his home on February 9, 2022. In the letter dated March 6, 2023, Senior Superintendent of Police Michael Sang said Matiangi should appear at the agency's office at 9:30 a.m. without fail or risk facing arrests. Sang stated that he is investigating allegations of publication of false information. Contrary to Section 23 of the Computer Misuse and Cyber Crimes Act 2018, amongst other offences in regard to the alleged raid at his home on February 9th. Sang said he believed that the former powerful CS would assist him in his investigations. However, through Musyoki, Mogaka and company advocates, Matiangi told the DCI that his lawyers and himself will be engaged on other matters at 9 a.m., the time he was summoned to appear. He says he will appear a little bit earlier at 8 a.m. They added that the former CS will also be handling his other prior arrangements, which he can't defer due to the short notice of the summon. Matiangi jetted back into the country on Saturday after failing to honor a similar summon last week. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission EACC has also opened up investigation into Matiangi's wealth accumulation. Mike Kagwongo, TV 47, Nairobi.
Now, a group of leaders and residents from counties where the Kenya Defence Force and the National Police Services are conducting a joint operation have criticized the security personnel for what they said was using excessive force. The use of bombs has been alleged to have caused injury and property damage, prompting calls for the national government to intervene and moderate the operation. The joint operation has been ongoing for 3 weeks and aims to curb banditry in parts of the North Rift region. Moigi William brings us this report.
For 3 consecutive weeks, the police and military have maintained a presence in 6 counties of the North Rift region of the country as part of an ongoing effort to restore a sense of security in areas prone to banditry. However, some leaders and residents in certain counties have raised concerns about the use of excessive force by the uniformed personnel during this operation. Turkana County leaders have claimed that security personnel are using unnecessary force such as grenades in some areas, causing chaos, destruction and loss of property. Specifically, they have highlighted Kakong and Kalimorok in Turkana South as examples of the alleged excessive use of force.
Our people were bombed. Not one bomb, several, and most of the trees have been destroyed. Cows destroyed. Yesterday, there were a number of cows lying there.
Na saa hii mashule ya Turkana karibu shule 15 hakuna mtu amefungua tangu.
In the neighboring county of West Pokot, locals have expressed their disappointment with the security operation, alleging that it is being conducted in an irrational manner. Additionally, leaders from the area have claimed that they are missing out on important meetings organized by the security organs deployed in the region.
Unfortunately, what we have seen at the moment, the government has taken deliberate measure of targeting Pokot people. The operation is not seen in the other counties. We have also seen a serious media propaganda against Pokot people. We have seen religious leaders led by Ole Sapit saying that Pokots are bandits. We wish to clarify that Pokots are not bandits.
Residents of West Pokot have also protested against the use of the term Pokot bandits, claiming that it is commonly used to refer to criminals from the Pokot community. They argue that this fuels animosity among warring communities in the region.
Sisi tunaomba kuwa hata watu serikali muangalie hizi social media. Na tunaomba muweke sana security huko chini. Ichunguse hata CID mumwage huko chini kama ni sisi wa Pokot ama ni watu wengine. Viongozi wetu wakiongeza hai watashikwa wataenda ndani. Mtu akisonga hivi wanaambia kuja record statement. Hata MCS wanaambia mkuja mu record statement. Now they are very innocent.
The Ministry of Interior has reiterated that despite having restored a sense of security in the banditry-affected counties, which has been a challenge for decades, the uniformed personnel will not be withdrawn from the region. Moigi William, TV 47.
Now, earlier today at the Biblical House in Nairobi, the Council of Elders of the Evangelical Alliance of Kenya took a firm stance against the promotion of same-sex relationships. A ruling by the Supreme Court sparked a heated debate about whether same-sex relationships should be allowed to register an association in the country or not.
As the same-sex relationships debate intensifies day by day, evangelical leaders have finally spoken out
to denounce the formation of the Same-Sex Relationships Association following the Supreme Court decision to permit individuals to create such groups.
And we cannot accept those kind of acts to be accepted, because when we read the Bible, when people in those early days behaved that way, they were all destroyed by our Creator God. We don't want Kenya to fall and those, mess. We want to walk in holiness and declare holiness to cover Kenya.
During the meeting, Bishop Mark Kariuki declared the church would initiate an effort to challenge the Supreme Court's ruling. Their strategy involves gathering up to 10 million signatures in a referendum to overturn the decision.
We are telling the church and Kenyans as at large that we will be coming to you in a short while, because we are decided we are going to collect signatures to go for a referendum. So we will be coming to you from whatever church, not necessarily from the church, but even on the streets.
The church leaders appealed to the Attorney General of Kenya, Justin Muturi, to employ the court's advisory jurisdiction on issues of general and national significance. They believed that all Kenyans should participate in the decision-making process.
We therefore petition the Attorney General to immediately invoke the advisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court on matters of general and national importance to seek an advice or opinion on the broader concerns around promotion of LGBTQ.
Member of Parliament Nyali Joshua brought up the matter as a national concern in the National Assembly. However, the church leaders expressing their disapproval of the Supreme Court's decision, they are now calling on legislators to enact on a law that restricts freedom of association for groups that promote practices that oppose moral and cultural values.
So we petition the National Assembly to enact legislation that expressly limits freedom of association of groups that promote illegal practices that may contrary to religious, moral, and cultural values of the people of Kenya. We wish to call
Norbert Oduor, TV 47, Nairobi.
Now, just 1 week after the closure of the China Square Mall, the retailer has finally reopened today. Many Kenyans thronged the retailer, with some coming out to embrace the move. This report was prepared by our reporter Ronnie Regan.
There was hope at last for the Chinese investors as the China Square Mall resumed its operations following successful talks with the government.
I'm from Thika Road. I came today at China Square. It's happy. I'm happy. It's good to be back. Things are cheap. They are good. You can get varieties of things. That's why we came.
Following the talks between the government and the Chinese community, the Kenya Chinese Chamber of Commerce released a statement expressing their satisfaction with the outcome. They emphasized the need for equal and fair treatment to create a conducive business environment and pledged to continue fostering collaboration between the two countries to promote investment for both traders.
Wanasema biashara yao imeibiwa wakati wanafinya wa Kenya, lakini wakati wanaona pahali wa Kenya watasaidika wanaanza kupiga makelele. Tunawaambia wagoje, sababu hii ni mambo mpya na serikali mpya. Asante. Nimenunua hizi wallpaper. Pahali pengine tunauziwa giri 1,500. Hapa unanunua na 600. Hii ya 5 meters. Kuna hizi vitu za makucha. Unanunua na giri 2 na kule kwingine unanunua na giri 3. Yes, nimenunua vitu mingi na nimesema China Square iendelee.
Meanwhile, at the mall, the long queues of cars in the parking lot and the crowds of people are clear indications that the store's closure had deprived many of the opportunity to purchase products at affordable prices.
Kama unavyoniona nimenunua begi. Hii bag Kwa kawaida ukienda kwa supermarket unaweza pata na shilingi 800. Lakini hapa ndani nimenunua kwa shilingi 400. Sasa unaona inatusaidia sana. So tunasema ni asante kwa watu waliofungua China Square. Asanteni.
The closure was initiated by Trade and Investment Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria on February 26th, who alleged that the foreign investors were creating unfair competition for small-scale traders in Kenya.
Now to matters health, it is a sigh of relief to residents of Western Kenya after the Ministry of Health rolled out the new malaria vaccine in 25 more sub-counties in the Lake endemic region. According to the ministry, more children are set to benefit from the world's first malaria vaccine, which has also seen a reduction in deaths since its inception in 2019. Chepto Boit with the full details.
The country has now strengthened the fight against malaria by rolling out a new vaccine in 25 more sub-counties in the Lake endemic Western region in an operation set to begin tomorrow. More children at the risk of contracting the deadly disease are set to benefit from the world's first malaria vaccine RTSS, according to the Ministry of Health.
Overall, as a country, we stand at 6%. As a country, we are not uniform. We are divided into a number of epidemiological zones. The Lake endemic region, which is the highest burden, where I think we are also now launching this malaria vaccine, is 19%. Coast endemic is about 5%, while the rest of the country is between 2% and below.
To put the vaccine in context, in 2021, the World Health Organization estimates that 500,000 children died from malaria during the course of the year. That equates to 1 child per minute dying from malaria.
The expansion follows the Kenya National Immunization Technical Advisor Group (KNETAG) and the World Health Organization (WHO) recommendation for broader use of the vaccine among children in sub-Saharan Africa and in other regions with moderate to high malaria transmission rates.
The data showed that the vaccine leads to reduction in admissions with severe malaria. It is also showing promise in reducing deaths due to malaria, and that's when it's used in routine practice.
From the evaluation programs that has been done, now we have evidence that the malaria vaccine introduction did not affect in any negative way the routine immunization and also the use of other malaria preventive measures.
Since the introduction of the vaccine in 2019, there has been a descending curve on children's death from malaria. Kenya Malaria Indicator Survey (KMIS) indicates that the Lake endemic region had a prevalence rate of 27% in 2019, which has now dropped to 19%.
And the vaccine is safe, and we have seen a positive impact in the real life setting, a 30% reduction in severe malaria cases.
And in the words of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, we have had several failed attempts at attainment of universal health care. In his words, we cannot fail this time round.
Our duty is to make sure that every advisory that looks globally valuable is suitable for Kenya. And our duty is further to look for our own evidence to supplement whatever is coming from elsewhere to help in the decision around the vaccine.
Kenya has distributed more than 1 million doses of the 4-dose vaccine across 8 counties in the Western region, with approximately 400,000 children receiving at least 1 dose. Chepto Boit, TV 47, Nairobi.
Now moving on to male bodies were found dumped in bushes at Lukenya and Mua areas of Machakos County. The area residents complained of insecurity in the area and they want police officers to intensify patrols. And in Busia County, a body of a man was found dumped at a Geti village. Sharon Baranga with that roundup.
Monday morning, and residents of Lukenya and Mua woke up to terrifying news. 2 male bodies were found dumped in thickets in their neighborhood. The discovery of the bodies raising concern over insecurity in the area, and now the residents want police officers to intensify patrols in the area.
Nimempata, sikuona mahali amejeruhiwa, lakini tu ni kijana, hana umri wa zaidi ya miaka, na hakuna mahali ameumizwa, hana nguo, ametolewa nguo zote. kwa hivyo hatuwezi tukamtambua. Hakuna kitu tumesikia usiku, hakukuwa na kelele. Naonekana tu ni mtu amekuja pengine akatupwa.
Kimetushangaza road ya Koma Road, Kangundo Road yote imekuwa na ufungufu wa salama. Tunaweza omba maaskari wa hapa tubadilishiwe juu ishakuwa shida zaidi. Sioni mwili venye unaweza kuja kutupa, na hiyo kitu imetushangaza sana kwa sababu ilikuwa asubuhi tukasikia majirani wanawika kuja kuangalia, tukakuja tukapata body imeshatupwa, msee alikuwa amenyongwa na waya. Kabla ya kunyongwa mkono ashafunjwa mkono wa light.
Police officers have begun investigations.
Na miili yote ilikuwa in the same situation ya kwamba haikuwa na nguo, na tangu saa hii hatujaweza kutambua hiyo miili.
Na tunaendelea na kutafuta wale ambao wamefanya hiyo. Tumepiga report kwa police na ndio wakuja kumchukua.
And in Teso south of Busia County, a body of a man was found dumped at Ageti village. The unidentified body was found by learners on their way to school.
Sasa tunaomba tu serikali watusaidie wakuja wafieke hii msitu. Juu hii msitu watoto wetu wanapita hapa wakienda shule. Sisi tutaenda wapi na watoto? Watu watarebia hapa watoto wetu. Kuna vijana wanatoka mbali huko juu Kisii Estate wanakuja wanafuta bangi kwa hii msitu.
Hata mimi nasikia uchungu sana kuona kijana amelala hapa, ingawaje tumtambui, lakini tungependa kujua ni nani. Kama kuna wahusika pia wachukuliwa hatua.
Serikali kitambo walikuwa wanatuacha kama vijana, sisi tulikuwa tunatembea na patrol area yetu. Ambao visango kama ingekuwa inafanyika kama sisi tungekuwa. Kwa sababu huyu mtu vile amewawa, design amewawia, hatuelewi sisi pia. Wameleta tu wameweka hapa, lakini kama serikali inaweza kubali, itusaidie ili sisi pia vijana tujitolee tuanze kuzunguka vile tulikuwa tunazunguka kitambo.
Police officers attributed the incident to the porous border between Kenya and Uganda, adding that there are high chances the victim had been brought in from a distant location. The body was taken to Busia County Teaching and Referral Hospital mortuary as investigations begin. Sharon Baranga, TV 47.
Now, a family in Uasin Gishu County is seeking help to have their kin retained in Finland, where he had traveled to study medicine under a scholarship program. Abraham Ray is among 100 other students from Uasin Gishu County who are currently facing deportation after the county government of Uasin Gishu allegedly failed to remit tuition fees for their second semester as per a scholarship agreement.
The home of Esther, a mother of one of the students sent to Finland for studies by the county government of Uasin Gishu, is currently filled with a sense of despair as her son Abraham and numerous other students are facing deportation.
Rona alikuja akasema iko nafasi ya Finland. Ndio sasa tukaanza hiyo sasa kujiandaa. Paka sasa pale tumepika kulipa school fees. Rona alikuwa ofisi. Hata alikuwa anapikianga sisi simu hapa nyumbani. Tunakimbia na James kila siku. Lakini saa hii achukui simu. Kumbe alikuwa anajua amekula vitu yetu.
It is alleged that the Uasin Gishu County government has failed to pay their tuition fees for the second semester in accordance with the scholarship agreement.
Tukasema waje tuuse shamba ndio mtoto aende. Tukasikilizana tukauza shamba. Nikaenda kulipa school fees kwa county 800,000 nikapeana. Sasa vile nilisikia jana mtoto anakuja, nilishangaa kabisa, hata sikukula kitu. Nikasema mtoto anakuja tufanye nini na yeye, na nimeuza shamba sina chochote.
In September last year, the county government of Uasin Gishu sent 202 students to Finland for a scholarship program.
So this is a noble program. We are not abolishing it completely. Let those students who have paid for these fees, for visas, for anything else, let the county executive facilitate them to go to the Finland to study, and after that, let know this program continue until a legal framework and every policy has been done by the county executive and the county assembly, so that we cannot able to have issues that are arising like this.
Prior to their departure, their parents had contributed 1.19 million shillings as school fees to the fund. However, MCAs have alleged that the scholarship fund has been operating like a personal account.
Aliyekuweko, wazo ilikuwa ni nzuri, lakini makosa ipo, tuseme kinaga ubaga. Kwa nini? Ulijua kwamba wewe ukiwa msimamizi wa serikali, unapotumia logo ya serikali, unapotumia maafisa wa serikali, ulitakiwa ku-legalize process hii yote. Isikuwe ni ya watu binafsi. Kama vile mwenyekiti amesema, hii ilionekana iliwekwa tu sura kwamba ni county, lakini nyuma yake ilikuwa ni wanabiashara, wanafanya biashara kama binafsi.
It has now emerged that due to the county government of Uasin Gishu's failure to fulfill their end of the scholarship agreement, the students now face the risk of deportation. In addition to this, the students have also been informed that they must evacuate their hostels, which have not been paid for by Monday. Andrin Akilemi, TV 47.
Now, still on matters education, parents from Masinde Muliro Secondary School in the outskirts of Kitale town have held demos over what they term as mismanagement of their school plus constant harassment from the school leadership. The parents are now pleading with the education officials to transfer the school head, as our reporter Isaac Famba tells us after visiting the school and filing the following report.
While carrying placards, locals and parents of Masinde Muliro High School demonstrated along neighboring streets, complaining of what they said was constant harassment from the school leadership, saying efforts to find a lasting solution met with the resistance. The parents have expressed concern over declining performance in the previous KCSE results, attributing to frequent expulsion of their children from school due to high fees being charged.
Sisi shule tumeitoa mbali. Hapa ilikuwa tu ni paka na panya zilikuwa zinachezea. Tukajenga shule ikaonekana kuwa ni international school. Yeye amekuja anaharibu shule. Anakata miti ya shule ovyo ovyo ile wazazi wenyewe walipanda. Tumemwambia mwalimu with that one tumesema no. School fees hailipwi kwa basa. School fees inalipwa kwa M-Pesa ya girlfriend wake. Unaona? Kwa hivyo hiyo mambo kama hiyo amedeceive our school, performance iko mbaya.
Hii shule kila wakati sisi tukipita kwa hii barabara tunaona wanafunzi wote wako nje. Nataka niambia walimu na principal wenye wako kwa hiyo shule, tafadhali waache kufukuza wanafunzi ovyo ovyo kwa barabara. Kila siku hakuna mwanafunzi kusoma kwa shule.
Locals have now requested the intervention of Ministry of Education, including transfer of the school head, whom they believe has mismanaged the school and failed to address the important issues.
Tuambie ya kwamba hata mkuu wa education wa hapa ajue ya kwamba sisi tumekataa huyu principal ampeleke kwa shule ambaye alitoka ama amrudishe mahali pengine penye ataona kwamba anafaa huko. Sisi hapo tulete principal mwingine, na pia hata hatuna deputy kwa hii Masinde Muliro. Wazazi wa Masinde Muliro, mna habari ya kwamba hatuna deputy? Hatuna deputy kwa hii shule. Kwa hivyo tuna reasons ambazo zinatosha. Huyu mwalimu ameandika watu yake ya uko kwa hii shule, hata watchman wa gate ni mtu ya uko yake. Vitu zenye natoka kwa shule na yenye naingia kwa shule sisi hatujui. Na huyo watchman hata hana information ya hii shule. Watoto hata wakiingiza vitu vibaya ama mtu akuje na bomu kwa hiyo shule, hakuna mtu ambaye anaelewa ya kwamba wao watu ni hatari wa mbali ama ni wa karibu.
We made several attempts to obtain answer to the parents' question, but unfortunately, both the school head and the educational official did not respond to our calls. Isaac Famba, TV 47, Trans Nzoia County.
Now, a group of youth representatives from West Pokot County has today demonstrated over the CAS positions shortlisted candidates. Addressing the media this evening in Kapenguria, the group says that West Pokot County has been left out in the exercise and therefore are calling on the Kenya Kwanza government to consider the county, as it had always supported President Ruto's agenda. Now, the youth also asked the government to move with speed and curb the insecurity situation at the Kerio Valley, saying normal businesses are now at standstill due to the high tension in the area.
Kama vijana na wamama, tunakuomba kwa heshima kubwa na taadhima uweze pia ukachagua Mheshimiwa Lilian Chepchepkai Tomitom kama CAS kwa upande wa vijana na wamama. Mheshimiwa, unaelewa ya kwamba bado tuko na safari kubwa ya kwenda kule mbele.
So nisema kwamba ukimpatia hiyo tiketi atawakilisha sisi kama wamama wanyonge wa West Pokot, na tunashukuru sana Mheshimiwa Rais. Na hata hivyo kumbuka West Pokot bado tuko chini, tunahitaji mama kama huyu awakilishe malilio yetu sababu yeye anatujua sana.
Well, at 30 minutes past the hour, time now for a very short break. Don't go away, we'll be back with much more.
As you enter a new phase of life, you may seem lost until you discover the passion within.
I'm happy that MKU decided to open a branch in Malindi to make work easier for those parents who have never been away from their kids or children.
That's all the equipment that I need to study and all the facilities that I need.
You simply have one of the most beautiful and ultra-modern structure.
Join us at Mount Kenya University and Equip Africa Institute, Malindi, Odell Center to build your future. Intake in April for electronic learning and May for distance learning. Mount Kenya University.
Unlocking infinite possibilities.
Karibuni.
Mount Kenya.
Kaluma King Herbal Lozenges zinazo nguvu maradufu kutuliza kikohozi, vidonda vya koo na mafua. Kaluma King ni shwari.
Chika mama huyo muharifu kaiba kuku zangu, vifaranga wangu na mayai zote pia kabeba. Haya, chika mama huyo.
Maumivu yakizidi, muone daktari.
Welcome to Nyali Golf View Residence, where a luxurious accommodation is inspired by the Indian Ocean. This exclusive residential community offers the ultimate in coastal living along Links Road, Nyali, near Mamba Roundabout. With breathtaking views of the golf course, ocean, and landscaped gardens, every moment spent in your home is an experience of tranquility, comfort, and luxury. Every detail of your spacious, fully furnished apartment has been designed with your comfort and style in mind, with open-plan living spaces, high ceilings, and elegant finishes that exude sophistication and relaxation. Experience resort-style living with a wide range of amenities, including a state-of-the-art fitness center, swimming pool, children's playground, 24-hour security, and concierge services. Experience the ultimate in luxury living and golfing at Nyali Golfview. Contact us today to schedule a visit and discover the lifestyle of your dreams. Nyali Golfview Residence, luxurious accommodations inspired by the Indian Ocean.
Kwa majina naitwa Brian Bosire, niko hapa Webuye nauza mkombera. Napenda Radio 47, hapo ndipo.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Now, the issue of inheritance succession in the country has led to disputes among immediate family members who vie to become beneficiaries of a deceased's property. Despite the existence of legal provisions, greed and selfishness often take precedence, causing rifts within families. Mary Anjeri, a 78-year-old widow from Naivasha, serves as an example of such cases. Court of Appeal Justice Joel Ngugi and city lawyer Danstan Omari shed light on the subject in an interview with our reporter, Willie Dennis Njiru.
At Igwamiti Village, Boiman, Nyandarua County, there is a peculiar silence at this homestead. The billowing smoke an indicator that the homestead is not deserted. Here, we meet 78-year-old Matiangi, a distressed widow embroiled in a bitter succession battle for the ownership of property which she says she acquired jointly with her late husband Joseph Nderitu King'ori.
If it is something that you have been bequeathed, unafaa kuwa na reasoning. Huyu Juhana na ana familia na ana mahitaji, tutamwacha wapi? Which is the case here.
Awasha kunizubua juu mimi ni mzazi na ni mimi nilimzaa. Hata kama ningemzalia hospitali ningesema huyo mtoto nilinyang'anywa nikapewa mtoto wa mwingine. Juu hakuwagi na huruma na mimi.
Hajaiona kitu kisuri mama amemfanyia. Hata ambariki tu aseme huyu mama alinizaa. Hakumtupa show. Alimulea.
Marianne faces an imminent ejection from her matrimonial and ancestral home by her very own biological child on ground of a will, which is said to have bequeathed her the home by her late father.
Unaona anachukua ulizi ya bwana, ila tumetafuta na bwana pia ameshukua.
Court of Appeal Judge Joel Ngugi and Advocate of the High Court Danstan Omari demystifies the nitty-gritties of a will and its validity.
If the will does not conform to the law, that is a paper. It will be revoked.
And if you are following the justice thing, then you will not disenfranchise everybody, you will not disinherit your wife, you will not give away property that belongs to you and your wife, because that in itself will be a reason to challenge that very will.
The law of succession deals with property of a deceased for the benefit of the family and dependents, whereas a will can be oral or written. The last written will likely suspend any verbal arrangement.
A lot of people write their wills a long time ago and then they meet someone and they get married to them, either officially or unofficially, so it becomes a question. If they marry then officially, and even unofficially, the first question becomes whether they actually married post the will.
Unajua siku hizi hata mama akigawa chakula pale kwa nyumba, utasikia mtoto anasema, oh, mimi sijapata nyama kama mingi kaza huyu. So imagine now hii ni property.
One can write 30, 50, a million wills before he dies. The law says the last will before he dies. The last will before he dies. That is the will that will be implemented.
At this 7.5-acre piece of ancestral land where she buried her husband 5 years ago and her 2 sons, she says she has no strength to fight to take back what has been allegedly seized from her by her own child.
Wiru inaweza kuaje itupe mama mzazi na vitu niye ametafuta.
If you're writing a will because your aim is to spite some of your children or your wife, then you're doing it for the wrong reason.
The dependents have been left out and they are going to court and say, look, these are my brothers. Me, my father did not give me anything because my height is small, because I play football, or because I work on TV 47.
The validity of a will largely depend on the condition at the time that the will is being written, a scenario that is likely to be a setback for Marianne, as the will is said to have been drafted at a time where her husband was not mentally stable.
Will iliandikwa mzee akiwa mgonjwa.
Tukashindwa alitoa will na jia gani na mzee alikuwa mgonjwa.
A lot of the times people write their wills when they are very old and sick, and they have been to hospital and out of hospital and so forth, and they are just about to die, and then they write a will, and most of the time it will be challenged successfully.
The wrangles are now even affecting their source of income. In this rental building in Naivasha CBD, for instance, which since been hemorrhaging tenants.
Ni miezi mitatu renti haijalipwa na ni amekataza watu walipe.
Amefugisha pesa, anatubua mpaka maintenance. hawatoi pesa.
The same way I can't give property that is co-owned between me and my wife to our children, which includes her part.
The law anticipates akin to pick a death certificate, a letter from the area chief affirming existence and death of the said person, and a farmer list of beneficiaries before the law grants succession.
It really pains me because kila property other than the ile shamba mzazi walipata wameachia na wazazi wao. Hizi vitu zingine zimetoka from scratch, both their effort.
Our effort to reach out to the estranged sibling for a word proved futile, as she said to remain defiant to alternative justice systems granted by court.
Kuna wakati tulienda kotini, tukaambiwa tukuja tusikizane.
Before hizo mali zilikuwa zimepatikana, tulikuwa na relationship very smooth.
You can write a will and you can decide how your property will be bequeathed after your death, but you cannot completely disinherit your wives and children.
Succession procedures in the country still remain an impediment, this family just falling into the long list across the country, with clarion call to the justice system to harness the law. Reporting for TV47 from Igwamiti, Boyman, Nyandarua County, Amwili Dennis Njiru.
Now time now to cross over to the latest from the world of business. President William Ruto has said political affiliation will not determine the direction that the government takes in improving the lives of Kenyans. The president was speaking during a groundbreaking ceremony for affordable houses. Chichi Josephine tells us more.
The president spoke during a ground opening ceremony of the proposed Serehe Point affordable housing project in Nairobi, where he noted his commitment to working with all elected leaders in his government.
A lot of people did not understand what you meant.
He reiterated that political affiliations do not matter when the government commits to better the lives of millions of ordinary people, and that his government will not relent on pushing the agendas that will uplift the people of Kenya.
Kwa sababu nyinyi mumetimiza sehemu yenu, mumetupatia nafasi ya uongozi, mimi nataka niwahakikishie na sisi tutaungana na hawa viongozi wote, ma-MCA wetu, wabunge wetu, governors na ma-senators, tutaungana pamoja bila ya kujali chama na mirengo, tuweze kushughulika na mambo ya maendeleo ya taifa letu la Kenya. I want to give that assurance to every leader in the country that is prepared to work for the people of Kenya.
The 13 billion shillings Serehe Point project is expected to develop at least 6,000 units made up of 1, 2 and 3 bedroom houses, with a selling price for the units starting from 1.2 million shillings.
Hapa nyumba zitajengwa 6,700. Mumesikia hapa kulikuwa na nyumba chache 300 houses na ilikuwa hii sehemu yote. Lakini sasa tumekubaliana na wale ambao walitoka hapa. Tukijenga hizi nyumba, wale watu walitoka hapa wakatupatia nafasi ya kujenga hizi nyumba, watakuwa beneficiaries wa kwanza wa zile nyumba ambazo zitajengwa hapa.
Ile nafurahisha sisi zaidi ni kwamba hao vijana wetu na wasichana watapata kibarua hapa wa kufanya hii kazi ya huu mradi. Na tungetaka kumuuliza Mheshimiwa Shabal na wale umeweka wasimamie, wale watajenga hapa ni mahasla. Hapana wekea hao pesa mpaka mwisho ya mwezi, patia hao kila Jumamosi ndio waweze kuendelea na mambo yao.
What you're giving to the people of Kenya is something that goes down to the core of dignity. That mtu akikaa kwa nyumba yake pia anaweza kaa na starehe, ajue ako na room, ako na choo, ako na jikoni. Hapo awali manyumba Nairobi, mtu na bibi yake tofauti yao na watoto ni curtain ambao inawaseparate. That there's no dignity. Hapo hakuna heshima, hakuna hadhi.
Besides developing the units, the joint venture between Gulf Cup Real Estate and the national government will create more than 5,000 jobs, with 500 million shillings worth of tender given to Juakali artisans and 50% of tenders dedicated to women, according to Gulf Cup Real Estate Chairman Sulaiman Shabal.
Zaidi ya watu 10,000 watapata kazi hapa. Hii organization ya Build Her ambaye nilikwenda kutembelea, tukaona wasichana na kina mama wanafundishwa kujenga nyumba, kupaint, kufanya mambo ya tiling. Tutafanya kazi na nyinyi.
Chichi Josephine, TV47.
She is a painter.
Now, farmers in potato growing zones have a reason to smile after the Cooperative Bank of Kenya partnered with the Nyandarua County government and other stakeholders to launch the Potato Consortium project, a project that will assist farmers improve their potato yields through affordable and quality inputs, access to credit and sustainable markets. Now, during the MOU signing ceremony today, dubbed the Smallholder Potato Development Program, farmers in 4 counties, Nyandarua, Elgeyo Marakwet, and Nyali, who were the initial beneficiaries of the project in the first half of this year, will also benefit from affordable financing options and training by Cooperative Bank, which is the country's leading food and agriculture financing bank.
Excellency, we as a team, together with your team, we have done a business case for the farmer. Numbers. If a farmer plants potatoes, what is the profitability? And that is why these distinguished farmers here, they are going to verify for you the business case, so that when we come back here, when we have harvested, we can confirm to you that the business case of a farmer is firm and viable. Because if it is not, this whole exercise is not worth it.
Hawa watu wa Cooperative Bank na watu wa Mbeya watukopese wakulima, ili mkulima akimaliza kuvuna hiyo, kwa maana sasa hiyo yote inapitia kwa cooperative. Akimaliza kuvuna ndio sasa viazi hiyo ikienda huko, alafu tunalipa hiyo ndeni. Tukae chini na hawa tukubaliane na tuwe na cooperative MOU. Sasa hiyo mambo itakuwa mzuri sana.
We also have someone who is going to ensure that we have the correct seeds, so that we have no correlation with our market. Because the other time when we heard that KFC is getting potatoes from Egypt, actually we got shocked. You know, we didn't know. When we heard that, we got shocked. But then later they explained that it's not their choice. It is because here we have not managed our farming properly.
Now moving on, the Microsoft Africa Development Center and Microsoft have launched an inaugural workshop intentionally designed for university lecturers proficient in leading technology-focused courses. The university lecturers will be provided with an opportunity to engage with fellow educators in skill enhancement modules and identify best practices to incorporate into their curriculum. The 12-week program, which begins on 6th of March this year, will use a hybrid classroom model and practical training to provide instructors with a better understanding of industry requirements and inspire a curriculum change that will align with university classroom needs.
The washrooms. So I'll go through the overview of the universities that we have represented today. Video by Chun Lu, who's the co-founder of Microsoft Leap and Research Institute. So she's also going to talk a tour. So we'll have a tour of the garage.
Well, that's all we had for you from the world of business. Time now for a very short break, after which my colleague Dennis Otieno will be telling us how Manchester United was thrashed by Liverpool, sadly, plus much more.
On the next episode of The Realtor.
Blue area marked zones is known for a certain lifestyle. It is known for specific persons. But have you ever asked yourself whether you can have an opportunity to live here?
It is a big advantage when a Kenyan lives in a blue zone marked area. Because when we say blue zone, I think point number one that these people look at is security.
Right. We shall be breaking it down for you and making you understand that it is meant for everybody, provided you have this information.
Tuesday, 6:30 p.m.
Je, maumivu ya kichwa na kukosesha amani? Kaluma Strong hutuliza maumivu ya kichwa, maumivu ya mwili na hata huondoa joto jingi mwilini. Kaluma Strong ina aspirin kama kiungo. Maumivu ya kizidi, muone daktari.
La system yo donse hapa panda vid basi likoishi hapo. Nikambo boss kuna gap. Utafanya nini? Mimi ningeto kazo. Ara kataka tu kompompe tanka I did from my head.
Sisi kwetu ni Valentines. Kila siku. If you look keenly, mimi nakuanga nampea maua twice a week.
Well, wondering what else your favorite celebrity is all about? Catch the eagle himself. Hey! DJ Listening. And your favorite celebrity every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. on Dr. Ofueneke Tonight.
A very warm welcome to Primetime Sports. My name is Dennis Otieno. Now let's start off with matters golf. The Kenya Golf Union Limited General Manager Vincent Wangombe has emphasized the importance of starting junior golf programs in public schools in the country so as to nurture young talent and demystify the sport. Wangombe, while speaking exclusively to TV47 Sports Desk, stated that while many think golf requires large spaces of land to be played, the belief is false, and what learning players need are the basics like putting and a small open space like a football pitch, which is available in most schools in the country. Take a look.
So I started learning the game of golf on a piece of land that was the size of a football field, and we know that we can actually get the basics of the game, teach the basics of the game to the children on a football field. So most schools will have that kind of space. And all we need is equipment, balls, and we can get going with that program. Now, we have just signed up, the Kenya Golf Union has just signed up with Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development to start the program, to a pilot program in schools. And so we will be working with the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development to basically develop a curriculum for teaching children in schools. And we want to demystify the game. You see, a lot of people still think of golf as, not as a sport, but a pastime for a few rich people. But it is actually a sport. It has a lot of health benefits. There are so many benefits that can be passed on to Kenya by playing the game of golf. So we will be taking this game to the children, and we're hoping to start soon, and with the help of the government, we'll be selecting some of the schools that will participate in the pilot, get the children in those schools starting, and we are hoping to look back a few years from now and say, this is how we start demystifying the game.
Such a noble cause right there from the Kenya Golf Union Limited. We can only hope the top golfers in the country are one day going to be playing in the PGA Golf Tours. But moving on to matters athletics. Eldoret City Marathon Director Moses Tanui has assured athletes who participated in the 4th edition of the competition last year will be paid their pending dues later on this week. This after athletes who participated in the race blamed the director for payment delay. Tanui, who is also a retired London Marathon champion and among elite marathoners, said the race will be held this year at a later date as they target to nurture young talents who could not be able to travel to other countries for the championships. The annual event, which will be entering its 5th edition this year, attracts many athletes in the North Rift and from abroad.
Paying our athletes
the prize money on Friday 10th at 7 o'clock at the county offices. I want to take this opportunity also to tell the athletes that as a career athlete, it was not my wish to delay the prize money. It was a technical. I know what is happening. I know what is going on. But bear with us that we have reached to a conclusion that we are paying the prize money this Friday. We started this marathon not for the elite athletes. We started this marathon because we consider the athletes that have been training for many years without going outside this country.
14 elite FKF coaching instructors earlier today started a 10-day CAF instructors course under the tutelage of Ethiopian CAF instructor and FIFA technical expert Abraham Mebratu at the Kenya Institute of Special Education, KISE. Speaking during the program, Mebratu stated that CAF has introduced a new coaching convention and that new instructors need to be trained on the convention as they look into developing football in the country. Meanwhile, KCBFC head coach Zedekiah Otieno emphasized the importance of having quality coaches taking over Kenyan football, saying Kenya is privileged to have the CAF and FIFA courses offered to the local coaches.
Criteria they look at.
CAF is introducing the new convention and preparing new instructors in the continent. So once you get quality instructors in the country, you can have quality coaches, and those coaches will produce quality players. Then we can see in the field beautiful game, and we can have a strong national team in all age categories, women and men's side.
I think this is a good venture, and it's important for us in the country, because once you are qualified here as an